Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video. This is going to be a short, very quick tutorial on how to make a web server in Go. We're going to be using the Fiber framework, which is my favorite. You can use other ones like June, but yeah, we try to keep this short and kind of show you how to create a basic one. This would be good for anybody trying to learn Go or maybe the Fiber framework, and you're just trying to see how you can kind of start doing that. So let's close this out. And we're going to make a directory called Go example. We're going to cd into it. And then what you're going to do is do go mod init and then give it, in this case we're just going to do example.com, but this will probably be your GitHub repository. And what this command is doing is creating your root. It's going to create a go.mod file, and it's pretty much configuring your root directory or root package or root that everything is going to be under. So each directory is going to be a package in Go, and this is creating the root level one. So that's created. You see we got a Go mod file in here. Same with version of Go we're using, and this is the location of the module. So example.com is not real, but that's where it is. We're going to create a main.go file. You can name this file wherever you want. So then let's open this terminal just so we have it. At the top, you're going to name the name of the package that you're in. We're talking about the main package. We're going to create a entry point called main. This function is pretty much when we run go.run. This is the function that it's going to initially call the entry point. We're going to import some packages. We're going to import the format package. We don't need to do that. And then we're going to go get the Fiber URL. So in Go, they use URLs to get packages versus like npm for JavaScript. You just like npm install express. You're going to use the location of the package in Go. And then I'm going to show you how to return templates, or return HTML I should say. So we're going to also Fiber supports different templating engines. You can use Django, you can use a bunch of different ones. I'm going to just use a basic one, HTML templating engine. So then what you're going to do is you're going to pass these in because we're importing these. And then I'm just copying and pasting over here, guys, the URLs. Oh, there we go. You can see that we have some packages there. So now what we're going to do is create a app, fiber.new. Then we're also going to configure this. You could just use the default settings right here, but what we're going to do is configure this a little bit. And we are going to, this really pretty much is going to dictate how we render different HTML. And it's going to, what we need to do is pass in the engine that we're going to use to render HTML. Or I should say templating engine that we're going to use for rendering HTML. And this will allow us to add data and use data inside of our templating, our template. So then what we can do is do engine equals HTML. This is coming from this one right here, .new. And then it wants the name of the directory or location of the directory. We're going to call ours templates. And then what is the file extension, which is going to be HTML. And then we can just pass the engine right here. Cool. That's all we really need to do. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do in here, but we won't get in that to this one. And then we're going to do app.listen. This looks how they advertise a lot like Express at this part. And then what we're going to do is, I'm pretty sure it just was a string, right? Why is this not auto completing? Yeah, there you go. And then what you're gonna do is port bind to where we want. I could just do this, but for the example, I'll just show you how you can do something like, we could say the port is 3000 right here, and then we could do sorry, my typing skills are horrible, guys. And then what we could do is take this out, and then we could do that. Import. Sorry, I'm not that great of an instructor, but I'm just kind of walking you guys through how you guys could do something simple in here. So what this is gonna do is you could do something like S or V, or I think F too. But this is pretty much saying we expect a number, so we'll only allow a number. If I try to pass in a string, it's probably gonna yell at me. It's supposed to yell at me. It did not. It should though. There we go. And then, all right, so now what we're gonna do is make some methods. So it's kind of like Express. You can just do app.get. Then you give the path that we're expecting. We'll just do this to be the root one. And then you pass these handlers. Each handler is gonna take, usually you'll just use like a letter, but you could do whatever. A reference to the current context. We'll do like a pointer to fiber.ctx. And it returns possibly an error. And then we'll just do a return statement, and we're gonna return some JSON. Keep forgetting he's got to start with a capital. Is this all caps? Yep. There we go. And then this just needs an interface. So what we can do is we will just do type API response struct. And then we are going to say that each response just has a message, or we'll say it has some data, which is going to be a string. Data. And I'm going to walk you guys through what this is doing. And then we'll say error, which will also convert it to a string. So we'll just do okay, so what this is doing is we pretty much just created a type, grouping a bunch of values for a possible grouping a data object, whatever you want to call it. And you don't have, this part right here is not required, but in a nutshell, you say the name of the property, the type, and then this part is not required, but pretty much we're saying if we're returning JSON and this is the structure of the data, this API response, there we're going to look in the JSON for the data property and bind that to this property. So it's not going to look for data capitalized, it's going to look for this. In the same way, if we send this as JSON, another instance of this struct, then it's also going to, whatever value you put in here is going to, when you see the JSON on your side, it's going to be in data. So yeah. So now we're going to make a response right here. Sorry, this video is getting long, but and we're going to do API response. Oh. And then we're going to say data. You could just pass the values in and then do it like that, and it'll just do it by the order. But probably better practice to name. And then we're going to say the data is hello world, and the error is going to just be empty string. And then we can just return that response. So that works. And then I'm going to also show you an example of using a template. So let's say we'll just call this example HTML. example template, and then we could just say, hey, we had an H1 in here. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. And then we can say name is dot name. And then what we can do is we can do another one, and we're going to say template, and we'll do the same thing. You can cheat and just do that. There we go. And can we do c.render, and then we can say the name of the template, which is going to be example, and then it'll allow us to pass in some data into here. I forgot how we do this. Let me look this up real quick. Oh, there you go. Fiber has a tool, so we can just do fiber.map. You're supposed to make a map, but they have one built in. So we could do that, and then I'm going to say name equals David assist. Why is that not working? Oh, because it's supposed to be surrounded by. There we go. And there we go. So now we should be able to return. And if anything, let's do this. Let's do name. And then we could say visitor equals c.params name. Oh. Let's just do it like that. I wonder if, I don't even know if I need this, but we'll just leave it. Name, and we'll say if visitor zero. We'll do an OR statement here too. I think this returns a string no matter what, so we should be able to just do that. Then we'll say visitor equals visitor. And I will say viewer. And then we'll just change this to visitor. All right. This is a longer tutorial than I wanted to do, and I didn't do much talking, but I hope this video does help somebody. Okay, so now if we do, here's what's up. You can see that first route worked, and then if I do, we'll say John. Uh-oh, that didn't work. What did I do? Make sure, I don't think I did that name right. Let's see if that works. Fail to render. Render template example does not exist. That is definitely there. Embarrassing. Let's see. I'm looking at the docs right now to see why they're tripping about. They did doc B. Oh, it's because I did this. The extension has to have a period. That was stupid. Make sure you guys can read before you start programming. There you go. And John's right there. I could do. There you go. So that was a quick example of how you guys could build a web server in Go. That was really quick. This is a really very basic and doesn't do anything useful. But that is a quick tutorial of how you could build a web server with Go and Fiverr. I hope this was somewhat useful.